And that wraps the weekend, which started with Brentford beating Burnley by 3-1. 2 more for Thiago there. Newcastle United getting their first away win of the season. It came at Everton yesterday evening. City needed a 91st minute winner from Phil Foden. 2 he scored in the game to see off Leeds United. Sunderland came from 2 down to win for the first time ever in the Premier League. Bournemouth on the receiving end of that, and Fulham winning at Spurs last night by 2-1. Early today, Manchester United coming from behind at Selhurst Park through Xerxes and Mount to beat Crystal Palace, their first home defeat of the season. Villa winning in the All Midlands tussle, another long-range goal, this time from Kamara. 2 goals from Brighton at Nottingham Forest, scored by Cowper and Stefano Simas, his first in the Premier League. Gave them victory there, and Liverpool back to winning ways as well. Isak on the score sheet in the Premier League for the first time for Liverpool. Cody Gakpo getting their second, and 1-1 here at Stamford Bridge. So you can scan that QR code, it'll take you straight to the Sky Sports app. Even if you didn't have time to scan it, get yourself to the Sky Sports app. You'll see all the goals and the highlights there, and this is how we stand up to 13 games. Wolves still bottom, still without a win. 8 points adrift of Burnley. And the other newly promoted side, Leeds United, 1 further ahead. West Ham out just on goals scored right now. Then come Forest, and a gap to the rest, with Bournemouth at the top of the bottom right now. Spurs in that bottom half. Liverpool climbing up to 8th. Manchester United up to 7th. Brighton climbing today up to 5th. Villa into the top 4. Chelsea now 3rd. Their gap to Arsenal is 6 points. City are 5 behind the leaders, Arsenal.
Reece, well played. A real battle of a London derby. That you're pretty proud on the whole of the way you pushed them to the limit today.
Yeah, it's obviously disappointing, to come away with only 1 point. We went down to 10 men pretty early in the game, and that made it difficult. I felt, we had a lot more of the ball when it was 11v11, and going down to 10 made it more difficult.
Yeah, and God, that really says something that you stood here disappointed against a team like that, given that they had that man advantage for so long. Does that tell you about the progress you've made? No,
I think everyone can see, where we are, what we're fighting for. I think today was, a big statement. Even though we wanted to win, there's lots of positives to take from that. How were you able to give them so many problems tactically in that first sort of 30, 40 minutes before obviously Caicedo got the red card? No, we worked hard. There's a lot of, analysis and, hard work from the managing staff that, sets us up the right way and wants us to, play and perform in a certain way that, he thinks will hurt them. Physically, in that midfield particularly, did it feel like a game on the edge? Looking from the sideline, it almost felt like a red card was maybe inevitable in that match. I mean, if you look at the amount of yellows there were, I thought there was, going to be one more red. There was so many. Even after Caicedo, yeah. Yeah, there was, maybe 7 or 8 players, on yellows throughout, both teams. Why do you think that was? Oh, it's a London derby. Right. Everyone wants to win this game. Daft question. Yeah. How did you enjoy the battle in that midfield? There was a time where it was, maybe last season, unusual to see you in there, but now, look, I'm going to give you the Player of the Match award in a minute or two. So you're able to match top players and run a game now. No, I think, Arsenal are, they've been at the top for the last few years. Playing them is, we knew it wasn't going to be easy. And no, their midfield is tough, but, we done what we could today and tried to, play our game and, hurt them off the ball. Yeah. Did you get a view of the red card for Moisés? No, I haven't seen it back, so no, I have no comment on that. Fine. What did the manager say at half-time about reshaping you? No, he changed, the formation slightly. We knew we wasn't, going to have the ball as much, and they was going to come, and we had to, soak up the pressure and try and catch them, on the counter, which, we did a few times, but, we didn't have the final touches. Yeah, and as you said already, though, despite the disappointment, a statement performance matching them like that. Yeah, I think, I'm proud of the boys. It was, electric, here at Stamford Bridge today, and, we take a point and move forward. Well done, Reece. You are, as I said earlier, the player of the match. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. Well done, mate.
Yes, well done to Reece James.
Organised, and I think that would be the worry looking in an Arsenal sense. But look, it's a point which, yes, you look back at it now, you would have taken it, of course. However, they'd be disappointed they conceded from a set piece, and it's a bit of their own medicine, isn't it?
Bit of disappointment you saw on the players' faces, didn't you, at full-time, having equalised through Mikel Merino with still half an hour to go, that they didn't manage to find that extra gear they needed to brush aside this Chelsea side. Let's get Mikel Merino's thoughts now. He's with Patrick Davison.
Well, Mikel, a big battle that you're obviously right at the heart of. As you stand here now, emotions, feelings about the performance and the result?
Well, on one hand, disappointed because we didn't win, and obviously, when you wear this T-shirt, you want to win every game. But on the other hand, we know this is going to be a long season. This is a really tough.
Well, Mikel, a real full-blooded derby for sure. What do you make of it as a contest, firstly?
Yeah, a really tough one. I think two teams that they play with a lot of intensity, aggression, will. You could sense that in every tackle, in every action, how much it was at stake. So that made it a game that in the beginning, especially the first 20 minutes, you could not see much, especially in any long sequences of play. And then the game started to settle, and yeah, after the red card, when we needed to, settle, make the adjustment at half-time, in the first action straight after the half-time, we concede a foul, a wide free kick, and then a corner, and concede a goal.
Did you expect the sort of physically intense game we got? I mean, right from that first challenge, I think the first foul was Cucurella on Saka, and it didn't let up really from there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, what made you expect that? Just the fact it's a London derby?
I mean, what is at stake? I mean, two top teams fighting for the Premier League, so it's normal.
What problems did they give you tactically, 11 against 11?
The same that we gave to them. The moment that someone finds a superiority, a free play with the space and man-to-man, you have to track back. So it's clear on all the direct balls and second balls and who wins that duel.
At half-time, what did you say to your players, and how near the top of the list was don't get a red card now, especially with them down to 10? Yeah,
so we had 4 players with yellow cards, and you could see that they were targeting those players to get the game even, and probably stay away from that. The one probably with biggest risk, it was Ricky. That's why I had to take him out against Estebao or Neto, that he could come in and look for him. We've done that, but we didn't really settle because the first action in the second half, long ball, they get a foul, wide free kick, corner, and a score. And then emotionally, you need to get through that. And it took us a while to get set, to get fixed, to be much more patient than we were in certain moments, to move them, to generate the spaces, and then we scored a brilliant goal. And then, yeah, we had 2 or 3 big chances, but the reality is every time that the keeper catches the ball, they were in transition.
Yes, they were. Player of the match today. How pleased can Chelsea be with that performance, and how pleased can Reece James be with his own performance today?
I think firstly for Chelsea, they'll be very pleased. I think the manager will be in that dressing room congratulating the players for sticking to the task and understanding it was a naive tackle by Caicedo, but how focused they were to ensure that Arsenal weren't going to get clear chances. They worked tirelessly as a team. Everybody, every last one of them gave absolutely everything, and that's what it's all about. In order to be successful, you've got to sacrifice yourself as an attacker, for sure. When you've got 10 men, it's important for you as one of the attackers to not necessarily think about scoring goals, and usually you'd reserve your energy to score goals, whereas in this case you reserve your energy to defend and ensure that you're making it difficult for the opposition. As for Reece James, I mean, we're talking about a player who's been in the first-team environment now for many years and has become a senior player for this group. He's been at the club nearly 20 years and struggled with injuries throughout his career, specifically over the last couple of years. But there's no doubt he's an absolutely unbelievable football player. The versatility he brings to this team, the set pieces that he can bring, he's got all the tools to be able to play in midfield and to play right back. He was an absolute beast today. Gave him so much running power in midfield. It was a very, very experienced and professional performance from him, and he played very, very well.
We were saying, Theo, there aren't many players with England who play in one position for their club and another for their country.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Unique right now.
It's very unique, and as well, it's a great, not problem, but it's another option that obviously Thomas Tuchel can have in certain games, because it's delivery itself, set pieces, which are so important for a lot of clubs and a lot of national teams these days. But what I'm really pleased to see in his development is his growth in his leadership skills, because he's obviously been questioned in the past about is he a leader, is he a captain? He clearly is on today's performance. You're playing against Declan Rice and they had Caicedo next to him, and he's player of the match. For me, looking at the Arsenal sense, they'd be disappointed and they didn't test him enough. But like, he was absolutely outstanding today. He really was from start to finish.
The game was really in the balance, wasn't it? I suppose the sense was that Arsenal were going to push for a winning goal, having equalised with half an hour to go. We had to wait, really, Theo, until the last seconds of the game for this moment. What has happened here is Gyökeres surely has got to be screaming at Timber to get out of the way of that.
This is when you get desperate towards the end of games and you want to obviously commit loads of bodies forward. You always feel, though, if a right-back's in this position, I would be asking question Gyökeres now. I'll be pulling him and just saying, look, this is my space. This is why I'm on the pitch. But look, he's been doing it all season, but just, yeah, he'd be disappointed with that. No doubt of that. I think we wouldn't see that. But it just annoys me when players are just out of position. But like, I understand why Arsenal committed so many bodies, but that's what they faced today, and it was disappointing on their side.
Was that a late let-off for Chelsea?
Very much so. You know, I'm there thinking, Timber! And I'm like, all of a sudden, it's like, you better move. Like, you know, I need to be the guy coming on the pitch and attacking this thing, and you're thinking to yourself, oh, just move out the way.
But Gyökeres is sometimes too nice, I think. He'd have
been fuming. He'd have been fuming about that. Of course, you're going home thinking to yourself, I want to say something to him, you know, but you know what? He was in my spot. And at the end of the day, he got the leap, he had the power, the connection was all off.
Would have been some story, wouldn't it, for Gyökeres back from injury, coming off the bench, and that was going to be his moment to win the game for Arsenal in these late stages. It didn't happen. And I suppose Arsenal were favourites, really, Theo, after that red card in the first half. To Moisés Caicedo. Daniel spoke at half-time about it looking more like a red card once it is slowed down. When you saw it first time, did you think red straight away?
No, not initially, because I felt the referee actually continued to play the game. In that sense, if you think it's a red card, you're quick to react in that position, because considering this is one of the best referees in the Premier League.
He's actually got a really good view of it, probably better than anyone.
And like Daniel was saying at half-time, the delay, where he's obviously got someone in his ear just trying to re-referee, like we were saying, to give him a yellow, just to delay the decision so they could just really monitor it in that sense. I think that's the problem with VAR. I think you need to initially go with your initial decision straight away, and then you can obviously react in that sense. But I just think the fact he's delayed it and allowed the game to continue. Normally red card, you see it straight, red card. So, look, I think the right decision was made.
Because the game actually played on, didn't it, down towards this end in front of us. He might have wanted to see what happened in the rest of that phase of play. And then he pulled out a yellow card almost to mark it, didn't he?
Yeah, no, to mark obviously what he was going to commit to. But look, I just think Caicedo does not need to be doing that in that position anyway. You know, we can speak about VAR and all that side of things. However, I think Caicedo is the one who you kind of felt it was coming from his initial start of the game. I felt that was going that way.
And the question we have to, you know, what the VAR said watching it was the straight leg is key, Daniel. Excessive force as well used in that moment. You agree with that?
Yeah, it is almost like a little jump into it, and that's probably what it is. You can see the force is strong. It almost, if he doesn't pull his leg away, it could have been a lot worse.
And because of those two factors I mentioned, therefore endangering the opponent as well.
Yeah, and it looks like it, to be honest. You know, you wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of one of those challenges. Caicedo's a top-class football player, and he'll be absolutely fuming with himself right now, knowing that he's made a big mistake that's going to cost his team in terms of his availability moving forward. And their fourth red card of the season, twice as many as any other team at this stage, which is not ideal 13 games into a season when you are potentially pushing on for a title. Having said all that, they still managed to find a way to get themselves in front. Did that come as a surprise at the start of the second half? It did, I think, for everyone in the arena, how loud they screamed. You know, it was a magnificent cross into the box. The connection from Chalobah, who, again, I thought was brilliant today. And adding those goals to a game, you know, in these tight situations, it's two